Hi, my name is Ashish, and in this video we will see evidence and entities investigation in Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. So we'll basically learn about the artifacts in the environment and how they relate to other artifacts and alerts that will provide us with the insight to understand the overall impact to the environment. So just to give you the basic introduction, Microsoft Defender for Endpoints or DFE provides information about forensic artifacts found in the environment. There are specific observable pages for files, user accounts, IP addresses and domains. If you are a SOC analyst working at a company that has implemented DFE and your primary job is to remediate incidents, you are assigned an incident with alerts related to suspicious PowerShell command line. You will start by reviewing the incident and understand all the related alerts, devices and evidence. And after that, more of this I will show you on the portal. So let me just quickly log on to the portal and take it from there. We are logged on to the portal and I'm checking the incidents tab. See, so this is my test machine. And this is the malware or the infected document that I have installed, which has led to the suspicious alerts on one of these test machines, which is onboarded to my evaluation lab on my Defender for Endpoint portal. Okay, under devices, this is the one. So if I go back to here again and click on incidents, I can see the incidents, right? So you start by reviewing the incidents. So if I just multi-stage incidents, these are the corresponding incidents or alerts related to this. So if I click on here, all right, and then you would check the related devices. So this is the related device and the evidence. So if you just maximize it, and this is the suspicious, you click on it, and these are the all evidences that you will see. You see the details, alert state, classification, you see the evidence tab, you see this is the entity name, this is the PowerShell exe, which is the suspicious, and it says the description: a command in PowerShell was executed by a suspicious process. PowerShell is often used by attackers to bypass security protection mechanism by executing their payload in memory without touching the disk, leaving any trace, right? So you will see sometimes the evidence tab would show 3 files, 6 processes and 1 persistent method. I mean, it can show anything under see the evidence tab. So one of the files would also has a name you have never seen before. You click on that file to review everything known about that file. So if I just click on this, let's say this is the suspicious file, I click on it, it will give you the proper details. Okay, this was the process, this was the execution time, the command, this was the command line that took place, virus total detection ratio, malware detection or not, the path of that process on that machine, object details and the name, company, product, everything and anything, right? So let's say if the situation is malware, then it will be good to know whether this file impacted only this machine. Then you decide to submit a deep analysis on the file to see if the file performs any suspicious activity, right? The result of that either will be, it will show the suspicious activity, then you will select, you will add the indicator from the file page to ensure that Defender for Endpoint will use the indicator for detection. Alright, so in totality you would have to investigate the files in DFE, you will have to investigate domains and IP addresses in Defender for Endpoint, you will have to investigate user accounts in Microsoft Defender for Endpoint as well. Right? How would you investigate a file though? So when you see the details of a file associated with a specific alert, you would see the behavior, you will see the event associated with that process or file to help determine if the file would exhibit any malicious activities, right? You will identify the attack, you will understand the potential scope of the breach, you will find the details, file prevalence, you will have the alerts, on how many devices it has been observed in your company. You would do the deep analysis. You will check all the file names as well, right? And if you see here, you can manage the indicator from here. You can add the indicator. Let's say I want to add the indicator for this process. You will add the indicator from here. This is the complete alert story, right? If you would see here, this will provide a list of alerts that are associated with that file. The list covers much of okay, now it came. So you will have the file hash. You will get the file hash from the alert details. You will have the type, you will have the description, and then there would be corresponding actions. I'll show you the example of this later, but this is how you do it. So we are back on alert page. So if you click on here, you see the corresponding alerts. Click on the alert. Alright. This is the complete alert story that you can see. You can maximize it from here. Right. You will see the alerts. You can choose what kind of information is shown by selecting customized columns from the toolbar. Then you will see that how is this affecting your organization, right? So here, if you click the multi-stage incident, let's say you don't do this, you just click this. You close it. You see the incident details. These are the assets that are responsible. These are the users. These are the mailboxes or apps associated with it. These are the summary, impacted devices, incident details. And you see the evidence and responses here as well. Then you will see the files. You will click on this file. From here you can do the deep file analysis. Okay, if you click on here, it will take you to another page. File cannot be collected, but if you will submit the file for the deep file analysis, it will collect the file from the devices or from Microsoft Sample Store if the file already exists. Collecting the file can take up to 3 hours depending on file and device availability. The collected file is then analyzed in a secured environment and a detailed report is created. Right, so this is how the typical cyber security investigations are triggered by an alert. Alerts are related to one or more observed files that are often new or unknown. Clicking a file takes you to the file view where we can see the file's metadata here, but we don't see that data here. But usually if the file is correct, you will see the metadata here. Okay, now if you will click on files, if I go back, you can collect the file from here as well. This is the file path where you see the object details, the metadata, original name. And if you click on see all devices, you have this observed in organization. So what does this mean? The observed in organization tab would allow us to specify a date range to see which devices have been observed with this file. So if I see the today's date, I have one device, okay, which is associated with this malware file. This tab will show a maximum of 100 devices. To see all devices with the file, export the tab to a CSV file by selecting export. Here you click on export, it will export the device, and then you can open the file. It will show every device that is associated with this, right? And okay, so you will see the information like this. Okay, if I scroll down, and if you see the deep file analysis, deep file analysis results show the file's activities, observed behaviors, and associated artifacts such as dropped files, registry modifications, and communication with IPs. Deep analysis currently supports extensive analysis of portable executable files, including exe and .dll. And it takes several minutes. Once it is complete, the deep analysis tab will update to display the date and time of the latest results available. Deep analysis summary includes a list of observed behavior, some of which can indicate malicious activity, and observables, including contacted IPs and files created on the disk. And then you can see the deep analysis reports. Once you have it, then you can troubleshoot deep analysis as well. And on the basis of the troubleshooting, you will have the file response actions. So how will you do it? If you come here, you come here. If there is a malware detection, right? So this, if you can stop and quarantine the file, you can add an indicator, you can submit the files in the action center as well, right? So stop and quarantine. You can contain an attack in your organization by stopping the malicious process and quarantining the file where it was observed. But you can only take this action if the device you're taking action on is running Windows 10 version 1703 or later. The file does not belong to trusted third-party publishers or not signed by Microsoft. Microsoft Defender antivirus must at least be running on passive mode. And you can always add an indicator to block or allow a file. Remember when we were adding an indicator, if you click on files again, let me go on the alert or on the incident. Add an indicator. Right. We can prevent further propagation of an attack in the organization by banning potentially malicious files or suspected malware. If you know a potentially malicious portable executable or PE file, you can block it. This operation will prevent it from being written or executed on devices in the organization. You can enable the block file feature. You need to first turn the block or allow feature on. In settings, you can allow or block a file. You can download the file from the response actions as well. and you can take number of actions if you want to allow it, if you want to block it. By taking proper precautions, if you think the file can be malicious or is malicious or it is not a malicious, then you can take further actions on the same file or on the different files of the same type, right? So I hope this was informational for all of you. If you have any further queries, please mention them in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Have a good day.